family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Old school.
Going to be stolen, I think, by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Ray rocked the baby to sleep and slam dunk.
Stolen by Bird and the cut to DJ. Yes! Buckle up for Kobe Bryant.
New era.
Oh! A jawbreaker! Curry way downtown. Bang!
It's all basketball.
A spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Lace them up. It's time for 1010XL's Open Gym. Leading the break, here's R.J. Saunders.
The final day of the play-in rounds going on right now as we speak. Filling in for Rick Ballou on the final day of the week. Happy Good Friday to everyone. R.J. Saunders, Dylan Denmark here with you. Open Gym on the Superstation, 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Have a great show lined up for you today. Thank you guys for joining us, and we'll love your interaction throughout the entirety of the show. Multiple ways you can do so. First being the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosure, 641-1010, or on our various digital studio outlets, whether that be on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. We will also be taking calls in the second hour of the program. So I'll start here. When we look at pressure, or we define pressure, it really feels like it has many different meanings, doesn't it? Pressure to perform, pressure to be decent. We've spoken about Trevor Lawrence this week, and whether or not the pressure in which we're giving him or the criticism we've given him has been that of fair. We've spoken about the Jacksonville Jaguars, their new regime, and how this draft, there is pressure for them to get it right in year one. They have to be able to set the tone. However, I don't know who's under more pressure this season, and this is where I ask you guys, 641-1010 in the city of Jacksonville, who's under more pressure this season? Trevor Lawrence or first-time head coach Liam Coen? Now, if you ask me, I think the answer is Liam Coen. And honestly, as a first-year head coach, I don't know if that's all the way fair, but it is the hand in which he is being dealt. This is a guy that you're not only asking to turn this team around, but you are asking him to also turn around the performance of Trevor Lawrence, who, by our standards here in Jacksonville and by NFL standards, wasn't the greatest year last year. And I understand that injuries did play a lot into that. But he hasn't been the Trevor Lawrence that we've wanted to see over the past year, year and a half, 2 years. Now, you give the reins to Liam Coen and you're asking him to turn Trevor Lawrence around, the franchise quarterback, Mr. $275 million. And you have a fan base here that it seems like they're split down the line, doesn't it? We don't know whether or not he's the guy. Don't know if you made the right decision by paying him. Now, I do believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars did make the right decision by paying him, but I don't speak for, in terms of The Rock and what he would say, the millions. But it feels to me when it comes to Trevor Lawrence, Liam Coen, I'm talking about, wants to have a few things starting from scratch when it comes to Trevor. And the big thing that you're hearing is that he's going to work with him on his footwork. Now, I don't believe that he's saying his footwork is atrocious. But I do believe that he is trying to make sure that Trevor Lawrence's puppies are in order. Certain field situations, he can feel comfortable. He can have his feet in the right spot. He can have his body in the right spot. He can make the right decisions, the winning decisions, not only a few times, not only when it matters most, but for the duration of a game. We want him to be damn near flawless. That's what we're going to teach him. And Liam also, I believe that was in his introductory press conference, he said that the tape doesn't lie, and we're going to show these guys their tape. And we're going to tell them what it is they can improve on. And I believe that Trevor Lawrence is included in that. But this seems to be more situational than it is with footwork. And this is Liam Coen talking about Trevor Lawrence and that footwork and what they need to work on in terms of certain situations.
It's not really a change, just tweaking. He's extremely talented, and he's made some unbelievable plays in critical moments and led some huge comebacks. He's played hurt. He's done so many good things. Now it's just about, okay, how do we fine-tune it and just tighten it up a little bit to get him in a place where he's comfortable to cut the ball loose on time and in rhythm, regardless of the circumstances. And that's really what it comes down to. Being able to give him some balance around him so that he can feel like, man, not every play is on me, right? Not every play every throw I have to make is gonna have to be life or death, man. We've got to create some balance for him so that he can just go play quieted with free of failure and just go let it rip.
And that's something we've been talking about over the past couple of days, right? When it comes to Trevor Lawrence. Liam Coen and James Gladstone and Tony Baselli are pounding the table on the premise of we have to put the right pieces around Trevor Lawrence. It can't solely be on him. And I think we've heard Trevor Lawrence say that, listen, it comes with the territory. Sometimes you do have to put it on your shoulders, make the winning play or what you think is the winning play. And I think when he said that, I do believe that there was an underlying shot there, giving a little bit of a shout out to the front office. Almost saying, listen, hey, I haven't had stability here on or off the field. And I just haven't had the confidence in a few of these guys to say that they can make winning plays alongside myself. And for me, hearing that from a star player, I don't know if you want to hear that. And to a star player, I don't think that that's something that they want to have to admit. If he's admitting that, hey, I don't trust too many of the guys here on this team or in certain situations, I haven't trusted the offensive coordinator to make the right calls. That's why I'm audibling 60, 70, 80% of the time, it feels like. I haven't trusted one receiver over the other. And you know what? Sometimes I'm not trusting myself as a quarterback. And now you're asking for Liam Coen, as the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're asking for Liam Coen to fix it. And one of the ways he's also going to have to fix this, not just with Trevor Lawrence, but with the entire building, is with culture. The culture from the group he has inherited, with the draft picks he's going to usher in here in less than a week, and also the talent he acquired via free agency. And one of the big things that I do appreciate about Liam Coen, he is talking about in building that culture, he has to also be willing to adapt. And that's something that players from other regimes he has been a part of have respected about him. And it seems like in this day and age, you have to be able to adapt to the younger group. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear from head coach Liam Coen again about building a culture and also being adaptable.
It's what you said. It's the adaptability, right? We will have a core foundation and principles of how we want to, operate, right? Our modes of operation, the way that our culture is going to be set, the non-negotiables, right? That's the foundation of what we believe. But like I've said in multiple different conversations, it's about players, not plays, right? We will have the core principles and how we want to play, our style of play. But ultimately, it's our job to pivot and be able to adapt to players, especially when it comes to the draft, because you want to be able to fill your holes, but also take the best players available. And it's our job to be able to adapt to some of those players.
With first-year head coaches, to me, you're giving them patience in terms of we're not asking you to win the division year one, unless your division is weak, like here in Jacksonville and the AFC South, or saying get us to the playoffs year one, if you're honest with yourself. These guys are saying, if we're being honest, this team is better than a 4-win team. Even though you're saying that you're better than a 4-win team, I do believe that the asking of Liam Coen, what he needs to accomplish year one, in my opinion, if they're saying that we need to get back to the playoffs and win the division year one, I don't know how many other first-time head coaches who have now gotten a job in the NFL this past coaching cycle are being asked to do that. Now, Ben Johnson, I don't know if Chicago's asking him to do that. The only other coach in which I believe they're saying get us to the playoffs or get us back to the playoffs or make us competitive once again is that of Mike Vrabel. Because New England is still trying to figure out the post-Brady, post-Belichick era. Jacksonville, the last few years, we have talked, 2017, the AFC Championship game. You had 2022, the great comeback. And when Jacksonville wins, the city feels different. The city looked different. Everyone's hugging one another. There's world peace when the Jacksonville Jaguars are good. And we want to get back to that. And with Boselli in this building, you know what he wants. He wants that Super Bowl championship. A parade down Phillips Highway. Maybe you can also have it down Hogan Road. Maybe you guys can have it down Hogan Road so 1010 can see it. So we can say we have a monopoly on the Jags. But all that's being placed at Cohen's feet. Year one. That's a lot of pressure on a guy, don't you think? If anybody can handle it, I would like to think that it is Liam Coen. He is saying all the right things. However, he has said that we haven't had our first sign of we got to hit the panic button. Mayday, mayday. We haven't had that yet. We haven't had our first big argument. We haven't had our first big fight. Doesn't it seem like they're still in the honeymoon phase? So when it comes to pressure on Liam Coen year one, is it right? Maybe. Is it wrong? You can argue. But again, like we said yesterday, nobody's asking him year one to get this team to a championship. What they are asking, though, however, is that we see improvement from Trevor Lawrence and we see improvement from this team as a whole. And we spoke about it with Trevor. There's immense pressure on him as well. Many think that, listen, we don't know. Again, we don't know if he's the guy. He'll get us over the hump. That's how others believe. He's the guy. He can get us over the hump. He can have us win a championship. We just need to get him a line. I've seen you on the digital studios. I've also seen you on the text line. We just need to get him a line. We need to get him a couple of targets. An offense he understands and he can work with. And he'll be okay. But the fan base is split down the middle because they are heartbroken over the fact that maybe the term generational talent is no longer there. But I do believe he can still be a very good to great quarterback. Who's under more pressure, in your opinion? 641-1010. Liam Coen or Trevor Lawrence? When we come back, let's talk about it a little bit more with Trevor Lawrence and Liam Coen. Who's under more pressure? How can they relieve some of that pressure in year one? What's it going to take for you to be able to turn this around in your mind and say this team is headed in the right direction? The stock is going north. Let's talk about that next right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Hello, you're on the air. There's more to 1010XL than radio. 1010XL is multimedia.
All communication lines are clear.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Find 1010XL on your social channels.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor, outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight, but it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200, ChadAndSandy.com.
I'm Max Fink on your Gator station. 1010XL is your pipeline to Gator Nation. Listen to the Gator Report all year round.
Freshened up by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators. 1010XL.
Go, Gators!
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Are you thinking about a pool for your home? Blue Haven Pools is Jacksonville's largest pool builder. They've built pools for over 20,000 satisfied families since 2000. It's never been easier to design the perfect pool for your home, family, and budget. Call Blue Haven Pools today at 904-620-0090 to get a free in-home estimate for your in-ground pool, or visit bluehaven.com. Don't let another summer pass by without a pool. Join thousands of happy Jacksonville pool owners in a Blue Haven pool.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mosquitoes show up, they are a buzzkill. You want them out of your yard, and fast. At Terminix, they know that mosquitoes bite, but not for long. They'll provide regular treatments to protect you and your family all season long. Go ahead and schedule that picnic, because when mosquitoes show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a mosquito problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Yo, it's your main man ET here, and it's time to make those summer break plans. Clay County is calling. From paddleboarding on Doctor's Lake to reeling in the big one on Black Creek or cruising the St. Johns River. There's no better place to dive into warm weather fun. Enjoy live music, local festivals, food trucks, and fireworks lighting up the night. Discover scenic parks, hidden trails, and must-visit local gyms. Your summer adventures start here. Visit exploreclay.com.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging? Spring is here, a time to renew. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist here to help you look and feel your best with minimal to no downtime. Rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your core, and sculpt your body with advanced face and body treatments designed to restore your youthful glow and confidence. Just in time for spring and summer. A healthier, more fit you starts now. Visit dermagnify.com and step into spring looking and feeling your best.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Barra, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Our next guest is a legend in the world of football, longtime NFL quarterback, made stops in places such as Green Bay, San Diego, Miami, and also here in Jacksonville. Also has been a coach in college football. You hear him now on B3 that airs on 1010XL, also with XL Primetime, and he joins us now here on Open Gym. Cleo Lemon. Make sure to follow him on Twitter if you haven't already at QB_Lemon. My brother, what's going on?
What's up, my man? What's good?
What's good, man? Absolutely. Man, thank you so much for giving us a couple moments of your time, man. And the big reason why I wanted you to come on is because I wanted to get your expertise on the QB position and Trevor Lawrence. I mean, when you're on XL Primetime, you're able to break it down in a way that I feel everybody's able to understand. And I spoke yesterday that although I understand the criticisms of Trevor Lawrence, I think there hasn't been a ton of stability here in Jacksonville where he's able to be successful. And I just wanted to know from you, just how important is it for a quarterback to be able to come in a situation where there is stability?
It's very important. I think your quarterback is only as good as the pieces around him. And I think with Trevor, he's such a dynamic player, an athlete. If you put the right system in place and you get him the right pieces, I don't see why he couldn't lead this team to a playoff appearance and then put him in a conversation as one of the, top quarterbacks in this league. I just feel like, the guy's talented. I just feel like the system, the play calling for the past couple of years has been a little questionable. And also the injuries, the offensive line being up and down, moving pieces around, receivers in and out. I think that all played a big part in, him not feeling his potential.
Now, how do you think head coach Liam Coen can help with the stability and helping make Trevor Lawrence's job easier day in and day out when he's on the field?
Well, first and foremost, with this upcoming draft, it's going to be very important, to kind of solidify that offensive line, give him some pieces. And also, if he can find some skilled guys, that would definitely help him out to get the ball out of his hands a lot faster than he has the past couple seasons. I've seen him take a lot of deep drops. He's tried to force the ball in certain places where sometimes it's not probably the ideal time. And at the same time, scheming up big plays. This league is about huge, explosive plays. And the more you can get those plays on film, the better offensive drives end in touchdown.
Continue our conversation with Cleo Lemon, longtime NFL quarterback. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at QB_Lemon. Do you feel that there is pressure for Trevor Lawrence going into now a third head coach, a third offensive system? Is there pressure for him to have a big year this year?
I think so. I think it's pressure from himself. I think if he's honest with himself, he can look back on the last couple of seasons and kind of feel like, we were close. We started off the season, in 23 with a nice win streak, and we were sitting in a good spot, right? And then from that standpoint, things have kind of just, fallen apart. So if he's, honest with himself, he can do a self-check and just see where he can improve. But at the same time, he knows these fans are passionate about the Jaguars,
right,
and they want to see this team back in the playoffs. So I'm sure he's putting pressure on himself more than any outside, third party could in his position.
Now, you've started in the National Football League. You've also been a guy that's been able to back up individuals that have been looked at as franchise quarterbacks. And I like the Nick Mullins signing because he was there with Grant Udinski, and you feel like there's going to be some pieces of what they were able to do in Minnesota implemented in the offense here in Jacksonville. But as the backup quarterback, kind of what are you doing to help the franchise starting quarterback? Is it, hey, I'm here if you need me? Or is it, hey, let's go out to the gym together, let's have dinner together, let's break down the playbook together? Kind of what would you be doing if you were in that position backing up Trevor Lawrence to help him become better in this offense and help him grab it quicker?
I would say first and foremost, compete. This is a very competitive environment. Everyone is there, to provide for their families, to win a lot of games, and everyone's trying to secure their roster spot. Right. So I wouldn't, in my mindset, I wouldn't go into a training camp thinking, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm always looking for a competitive edge, and hopefully by me coming in and being that type of competitor, watching extra film, doing the extra before practice and after practice, you would think that would push everyone in the room, right?
Right.
Because you want a very competitive room. You want guys to not only pull for each other, but you want iron to sharpen iron. So you want to go in there and compete, and then at the same time, you want to help them. You want to help them and be an extra set of eyes for him when he's not seeing something that you might be seeing. Those are conversations that I had all the time,
right,
in practice, in the meeting rooms, on the sidelines during games. So these are very important conversations. And then just build his confidence,
right.
When you're looking at someone that, at this moment, the National Football League doesn't have a really good what's the word I'm looking for? They don't look at Trevor as one of the elite quarterbacks.
Right.
So from a national standpoint, you want to put his name back in that national conversation.
Right.
And I think the only way you can do that is by competing and pushing each other, and at the same time being an extra set of eyes to help him when he might not be seeing the same things that you are.
Now, let me take you to the starting side of things, because you talk about those conversations in which you need to have. I would like to think maybe the front office is coming to Trevor Lawrence and sitting him down and saying, hey, what do you want? What would you like to see us do here in the NFL draft in terms of getting you all the requisite help that you need? I mean, when it comes to maybe the first 2 or 3 rounds of the NFL draft, what would you be pounding the table for the Jacksonville Jaguars to acquire to help you out offensively?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I would first and foremost start with that offensive line.
Okay.
I would definitely want someone to help, secure my protection, allow me to stand tall in the pocket and deliver the football down the field. And then, if you do have the opportunity to grab, some strong talent in the second and third rounds, I think that's when you start finding pieces that can hopefully build, your skill set when it comes to the running back position, to the quarterback position. You're going to have to, probably add some strength into your tight end room.
Right.
So it's going to be some things that can definitely help them. And at the same time, a good defense is also, a quarterback's best friend.
Right.
So if you can find something dynamic, if a Travis Hunter fell into your lap, coach, bring him to me.
Right.
I want that type of talent on this roster. So, it's a lot of different options, a lot of different, ways they could go in the draft. But if I'm Trevor, I definitely want to solidify that offensive line with a top pick.
Final couple of moments with Cleo Lemon, longtime NFL quarterback. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at QB_Lemon, joining us here on 1010XL. So when you look at this Jacksonville Jaguar team, of course, we have the draft next week. But in your opinion, watching the team, I understand that Liam Coen, James Gladstone, and Tony Baselli have all said this is more than a 4-win team. Their record was not the story in which we want to have written here about the Jacksonville Jaguars under the Trevor Lawrence era. How far off do you think this team is from being a team that can make noise within the AFC and also win the division once again?
Yeah, I would say because of their division, they're not far off. Okay. I like what Houston has done. They look like they're, going in the right trajectory for the future. But the AFC South, I think it's still open. I don't think there's, one organization I can say that has the division in the chokehold. So from that standpoint, let's go out and compete and win this division. Let's start there, Right. And at the same time, if you can do that, you're talking about a home playoff game in front of these fans and building from there. I think you take that momentum and you build for the future. But, yeah, start with the AFC South, man. Let's set a goal to win the division. And I think we can do it, with the right picks, with the right off-season work, and then with the system Coen is putting in and all the positive energy they got going forward. I think this thing can be turned around, really fast.
Now, before I let you go, and thanks again for giving us a couple moments of your time, Cleo, really appreciate it, man. I know you talk about this a lot on B3 when it comes to the NIL, and you've worked with a lot of high school guys. You've also coached in college, and that Nico Imaliava situation, it almost feels to me that he might have gotten some bad advice, and maybe the NCAA, if I were them looking at that, maybe it's time to get in front of this and maybe try to have some stipulations to where maybe we have these guys starting to sign contracts and having them honor those contracts. Maybe does this have the NCAA create a governing body? I don't know, but kind of what was your overall takeaway from that Nico Imaliava situation and what happened at Tennessee?
Yeah, I think that's a tough situation for everyone involved. To your point, I do think he got some really bad advice. I think someone came in and probably, leveraged his play from last year and where the team is and them making the playoffs and thinking, looking at the roster and seeing what's behind them, knowing that they wouldn't afford to not lose him, and would cave to them pressuring the organization to giving him more money. And when that backfired, now you can see, the direction, these college programs are going. They're not going to be held hostage.
Right.
They're not going to sit and let you corner them into a position to where, you can press them for extra cash when you feel like it's comfortable, because the timing is really bad, because of the transfer portal, all the national letter of intent that have been signed already for this recruiting class. So, I think the timing was bad. But also, I think when it comes to the NCAA, I just don't think they have the control of college football. Yeah. I think it's out of their control, in my opinion. And I think sooner than later, I can see, big time college football moving away from the NCAA structure and probably creating their own, level of competitive football, and probably a level of football that's right below the NFL, to where they can set up their own board, have their own commissioner.
Right.
They can put stipulations on athlete representation like the NFL does, when you have to be a certified rep to represent these players and actually know the ins and outs of these contracts, instead of just some uncle that wants to start his own private firm.
Right.
And then he got this talented nephew that is doing all these great things at Tennessee, and he gives them bad advice. I'm not saying that's what happened.
Right.
But the way it's structured now, that can easily happen.
Absolutely. He is Cleo Lemon, longtime NFL quarterback. Spent some time here with the Jacksonville Jaguars as well. You can hear him on 1010XL on various shows such as B3 Better and XL Primetime. And we are so glad he gave us a couple moments of his time to break down Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cleo, thanks so much for doing this, man. I really appreciate it. And hopefully you can do this again sometime down the road.
Man, RJ, reach out to me, big dog. Whatever you need, I'm here for you, man.
Absolutely.
Good luck, man, and loving the show, bro.
Thank you, man. There he goes, Cleo Lemon former Jacksonville Jaguar, longtime NFL quarterback. I mean, I love the 909. I mean, he believes that we're being Trevor Lawrence homers. I think we're pulling for Trevor Lawrence. There's been a lot of head scratching instances Trevor Lawrence has had where I said it on Wednesday. You look and you say, what in the hell is he doing? Did he have stability with Doug Peterson? Well, it felt like Doug Peterson lost the locker room for a year and a half. How stable is that when you don't have that? And it seems to me that Liam Coen is saying, listen, I'm going to show Trevor Lawrence his tape. The tape doesn't lie. There's some things in which he's done don't like. He's going to have to fix in order for us to be successful. The time has come. You're right. The bell has rung. You're right. But does that now have to mean that we don't pull for the guy that we owe $275 million? He's going to be here for a long time, whether you like it, I like it, love it, or hate it. So instead of complaining about it, we haven't seen anything on the field yet between this dynamic duo of Lawrence and Liam Coen. Let's pull for it. We want a winner here in Jacksonville. They believe Trevor Lawrence is going to be that winner. There's no problem in wanting to believe it too. But when we come back, I mean, let's discuss more about Liam Coen and, him being a first-time head coach. What are things he needs to make sure he gets a grip on early? Let's discuss that with a guy who was a head coach in the National Football League, Herm Edwards. He comes up next on Open Gym.
Dan and Jeff take you down the fairway with the PGA Tour professionals.
Keep an eye on this one.
Brunch with the Tour.
Tour news, tips, and inside info. Brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Are you ready for some exciting football action? Your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates Saturday, April 19th. Get family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for only $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. A fun night for the kids. Get tickets at jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. 904-621-0700.
Prosser here. The Jacksonville Sharks are 3-0 and ready to make it 4-0 this weekend as your Jacksonville Sharks take on the Massachusetts Pirates this Saturday. Get our family 4-packs, 4 tickets, 4 $10 vouchers, and a $20 Al's Pizza gift card, all for just $100. Don't miss the unforgettable Frisbee Dogs and keep an eye out for the Easter Bunny. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. And go Sharks! Go Sharks!
Enjoy a great day of golf and support Eagles View Academy Athletics. Friday, May 2nd at the newly renovated Bent Creek Golf Course. 8:30 shotgun start, best ball format. Find out more at EVAWarriorsathletics.com.
Play-by-play sports just sounds better on radio. For high school, college, and pro sports play-by-play, turn on 1010XL.
Do you know someone looking for a fun and rewarding summer job? Join the YMCA team, gain valuable experience, and make a difference in kids' lives. Turn your passion for this community into a fulfilling career at the First Coast YMCA. Now hiring camp counselors, lifeguards, childcare leaders, and membership experience team. Every single person on the dedicated YMCA staff plays a role in making the Y a welcoming and vital resource for our community. Find your career at the Y at fcymca.org.
Equal opportunity employer.
Find out what new golf equipment could help your game.
Well, I'm just a humble golf pro. Could I help you?
Get great golf tips and talk from the experts on the Edwin Watts Golf Hour.
Got to figure out why I'm still shaking the ball.
Saturday morning at 10 on 1010XL.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. you've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey, and I only like to recommend the best, which is why I'm proud to say that I chose Pella Windows and Doors for my own home. And now's a great time to upgrade your home with 0% financing for 60 months. That's 5 years of interest-free payments on the best windows and doors in the business. Don't wait. Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or visit their showroom on Phillips Highway just north of Bay Meadows. For quality you can trust and savings you can't miss, that's Pella Windows and Doors.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Direct from Broadway, MJ, the Tony Award-winning musical, is starting something all across America.
Get your head up high, scream out to the world. I know I am someone. Let the truth about.
Get tickets now to what the Washington Post calls a runaway hit. MJ the Musical, playing Jacksonville Center for the Performing Arts, April 22nd through 27th. Tickets at fscjartistseries.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The Miami Heat currently enjoying a 79-68 lead, 3:42 left in the third quarter. The winner will secure the 8th seed, will play the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. I don't know if I'll sleep on the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference. As Tyler Hero misses from downtown. Karis LeVert with the rebound going the other way for the Hawks. I don't know if I would sleep on the Miami Heat quite yet when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. I do believe they'll make it an interesting series. Maybe Cleveland wins in 5 games. Maybe they sweep them. But I do believe Miami will give it all they got. It seems to me that they've certainly done a good job keeping their heads above water, despite the fact that Jimmy Butler made their life quite hectic for a couple of weeks sitting out. Miami Heat looking to make the NBA playoffs once again. We are still efforting Herm Edwards, but just wanted to get back to Trevor Lawrence and the potential pressure in which he has. I don't think that there's anybody here in Jacksonville that wants to say Trevor Lawrence hasn't been without criticism, hasn't been without scrutiny. I do believe that he is a guy that has made boneheaded decisions. I do believe that he is a guy that has tried to put it on his shoulders quite a bit. I do believe that this is a guy that sometimes wants to make those throws that he sees the other great quarterbacks make in the National Football League. But you have to be able to read coverages better. I think it was either OTAs or it could have been in training camp. What, Dewey Wingard picked him off twice? That's not something that you want to see for your starting quarterback, for your franchise quarterback. for a guy in which you're saying you're going to pay $275 million to. That's not something that you want to see. You're asking Liam Coen to now fix that. Now, whether or not you have seen Doug Peterson try that method, whether or not you saw Urban Meyer in the time he was here try that method out, it didn't work. They're not here anymore. The pressure is now on Liam Coen. Doesn't mean that Trevor Lawrence doesn't have pressure on himself, though, right? If I were to ask Dylan Denmark, who has more pressure on them between Liam Coen and Trevor Lawrence, your answer would be?
Trevor Lawrence.
Reason.
Trevor Lawrence got more pressure on him. We're going into year 5 with this dude, and we still don't know exactly who he is. I mean, it's like either you think he's the guy because you think we saw the playoff run we did, and you think that's who he is at its best, or you think that he's not the guy, and it comes with a lot of variables that he needs a lot of help around him. And a lot of people, they will say good things about him, and they'll follow with a big but. Yeah, he's good, yada, 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 but he turns the ball over a lot.
Right.
Or he fumbles a lot. Or it's always something else. So I would definitely lean Trevor. Liam Coen, I don't think has a lot of pressure. Year 1, brand new staff. He's not getting fired this year or next year.
Right.
I wouldn't think unless you have an abysmal season this year and an abysmal season to your start next year. Trevor, you have the contract security, but I mean, we've seen teams around the NFL cut up contracts like it's nothing. I mean,
Kirk Cousins,
look at Russell Wilson with in Denver. That was here and there.
Absolutely. 909, are you happy? Somebody honestly having a conversation about Trevor Lawrence and the fact that he needs to do a lot better. I'm on the other side of it all. And I think that Liam Coen needs to be able to turn this around quickly. Now, that's just my opinion. Let's go to a guy who's been a head coach in the NFL as well as in the college game. He's been a first-time head coach. He's been a long-time head coach. Now he does a great job as an NFL analyst on ESPN. He is Herm Edwards. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Herm Edwards, and he's so gracious to give us just a couple moments of his time. Mr. Edwards, thanks so much for this. How are you?
I am well, and thank you for the nice introduction.
Absolutely. Thank you again for coming on with us. And I'm sure during your time as a head coach, both in the NFL and in college, and now being an NFL analyst on ESPN, many head coaches probably come to you seeking advice, especially if they're that as a first-time head coach, whether that be in college or the pros. And Jacksonville has a new head coach in Liam Coen. Although you're saying that he's a great X's and O's guy, he's never had to bear the title of head coach. What would be a piece of advice that you would give to him as he walks into this new journey of being the head man in an organization?
Well, you can't do it alone, and you need a good support staff around you. Your words and your actions have to match up every day. You will get the respect of the players because of your title, but you have to earn their trust. Right. And that's every day. That's how you come to work every day. That's your consistency. You know, the thing about NFL players, and any player, you don't give them talent. God gives them talent.
Right.
You give them information, and you put them in position to succeed. They all want to succeed, and all they want to know is this: how is this head coach, whatever offense we run, whatever defense we run, whatever special teams we decide to impart in, will that help me to be successful? Can this coach keep me in the league? That's what the players want to know. Okay. And then can he win?
Right. Now,
real simple.
Now, with Liam Coen, because I do understand that completely in what you're saying, I do believe that Liam Coen, one of the big guys in which he's going to have to earn the trust from, is a guy like Trevor Lawrence. This is my third head coach in the 5 years in which I've been in the NFL. There seems to be no sense of stability here with the Jacksonville Jaguars organization. Jacksonville in that building is looking to change that, but with now a new head coach needing to gain the trust of your quarterback. For you, how were you able to do that with the quarterbacks in which you had during your time in the National Football League and in college?
Well, let's reverse this thing now.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, his clock's ticking.
Yes.
You know, there comes a point to when you're a player of his stature, that all of a sudden, you know, coaches are getting fired, and you're still there.
Yeah.
So let's make this perfectly clear now. You're the quarterback. At the end of the day, this is your third staff. You're a three-staffer as a quarterback with a lot of talent. And eventually, you know, they're going to start looking at you.
Yeah. Right.
Right? I mean, you can twist it. And look, and Trevor Lawrence knows that. This is his third coach. This is his third offense. Now, you're going to do everything in your power to try to make him successful, but he needs to play well. He needs to have a good year. I don't care who the coach is. He needs, for his own well-being, to have a good year. Because right now, when you look at his talent and you look at his numbers, it don't match up.
All right. Right. Continuing our conversation with Herm Edwards, ESPN analyst, longtime NFL head coach as well as college coach. Also had a great career in the NFL as a player, spending 10 years as a defensive back. So with Liam Coen, he's been able to talk about the culture. He's been also able to talk about during his time as being an assistant coach or an offensive coordinator that he's been able to have the ability to adapt. When you come into a building and you're saying no longer are you the offensive coordinator, you are now the head coach, and you have to build the culture here in which you want. How does he go about that, both with his staff and also with the players when they come into the building and they meet him?
Well, look, he's a coach that's been around. He has to understand that the players are waiting to see what he's going to do.
Right.
Look, this organization's had 3 head coaches now in a short time, and so they all want to see. Look, there's no new plays, there's no new defense, right? Everyone has the same play.
Yeah.
Everyone plays basically the same defense.
Right.
Whether you're 3-4-4-3, at the end of the day, okay. So they want to know, how is he going to do this?
Okay.
How is this going to affect me? And right now, players are excited because it's the off season. Yes. Everybody's excited in the off season.
Right.
You know, everybody's going to the Super Bowl in the off season. But when the season starts and they kick the ball in there, then it counts.
Right.
And the players want to know, well, how is he going to change what we've had to deal with the last, 3 head coaches that are good head coaches? There's been good head coaches there now.
Right.
Let's make that perfectly clear.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's what these players are trying to figure out. And they're hungry to win. And that's what he has to understand. He knows that. He knows what he's walking into. And they've got enough talent.
Yeah.
You know, football, half the time, more games are lost than won.
Right.
More games are lost than won in the National Football League.
Right.
How are we losing? And that's what you got to explain to these players. You look at every game and you go, look, you know why we lost this game? Because of this. We can fix that. Now sometimes you have a talent deficit at certain positions. Well, every team has that.
Right.
But at the end, you got to tell them, look, the Jaguars don't play against the Jaguars. And there's games that we were actually playing against ourselves. We're beating ourselves. We got to just clean that up. We clean that up, we may win 3 or 4 more games.
And it certainly feels to me that he feels that way, that we've heard from Liam, we've heard from James Gladstone, the new general manager, and Tony Baselli's now has a role in the front office, and he says, hey, listen, this is better than a 4-win team. We feel that Trevor Lawrence is the guy that's going to be able to take us to the Super Bowl. When it comes to the doorstep now of Liam Coen, and I mean, you have explained, clearly that, hey, listen, Trevor Lawrence, the clock is ticking on him. Do you feel that there needs to be a sense of pressure, or that Liam Coen maybe senses a bit of pressure on himself to say, listen, we're going to be able to turn Trevor Lawrence around, and we're going to be able to turn the Jacksonville Jaguars into a winner, although he knows what he's stepping into. This was a 4-win team last year.
Yeah, and look, it's, you know, the thing that you look at is when you when you come to an organization, no matter how you get there.
Right.
The first thing you look at the people in the building. Right? You look at the people in the building.
Yeah.
All the people that were in this building when all these years, and you go, okay. So look, and when you walk in the building, this is their third head coach for a lot of these folks that have hung over, that have stayed there. And they're probably going, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
They're all excited right now.
Right.
Until opening day when you get punched in the mouth. And then they go, now what's going to happen?
Right.
Right. So I think this team is eager to win. Look, players don't like losing. No one likes losing.
Right.
It's horrible. It's terrible. And they let some games get away. I mean, flat tips get away.
Yes.
And how do they fix that? And that's what, when you're the head coach, you say, look, we can fix this. And this is how we're going about it. You got to have a plan. This is how we're going to fix this, right? And then the players got to buy into it. And you got to be consistent with your message every day. You got to be consistent when you go to work every day. And, you know, that's how it kind of works.
Continuing our conversation with Herm Edwards, ESPN NFL analyst. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Herm Edwards. You talk about getting punched in the mouth. You talk about, you know, games slipping away. It's always a week-to-week thing when it comes to teams as well as when it comes to head coaches and the adaptability in which Liam Coen is able to talk about and what he's able to do as a head coach and as an offensive coordinator, being able to adapt to the younger player, to be able to speak their language and understand where they're coming from. Just how important is that during your time as a head coach? You've seen many head coaches around the National Football League come in and out of the league. Just how important is it to be a coach that can adapt?
Well, you have to adapt, and I think in today's world, the players are different, right? I mean, because everybody's coaching. I mean, you know, they have access. Everybody's got something to say.
Right.
And these guys, they stay on the phone.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody's telling them this and that, and you know, and what you got to do is you got to quiet down the noise. You got to quiet down the noise. And as I said, everyone's eager, but now they want to see, okay, well, how is coach going to be different, right? How is he going to be different than the rest of the guys came in here? And so, to me, that's going to be the key. I mean, you're looking at an offense that's 25th in the league. They're 26th running the football. They're 24th passing the football.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're 31st in the league. 25th versus the run, and 32nd versus the pass. So they can't get any worse.
Yeah. Right.
It's not like we're going to get worse.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, you got some things where these players want to win. These players are embarrassed as well. And you got some good players there. I mean, some really good, talented players there.
Right.
On offense and defense.
Yes.
And so you're talking about a team that's hungry. They will. He has their attention right now.
Okay.
Because they want to win. They're tired of putting that uniform on, going, "Hey, man, you know what? 4 wins in the National Football League. People don't realize how long that is as a season. I had a couple times when it went bad for me, and it's just kind of keep the boat in the water.
Right.
And so these guys are hungry to win. They're eager. They got a really good head coach that has all the ability to do some things offensively. They got enough talent on defense. So this is a team. They got a good fan base.
Yeah.
I mean, this fan base is one. You go back to Jacksonville, and I can remember when we were in Tampa. And, when they first came around, and when I was with Buccaneers, and we used to go up there and scrimmage those guys, I mean, look, they got a fan base now.
All right. Now, what would be, before we let you go, Herm Edwards joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM, before we let you go, because you continuously, bring up, and I agree with you, there is talent on both sides of the ball, and I do believe that a lot of these guys are sick and tired of the losing. For you, if you were placed in the position, you're the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, kind of when everybody's in that meeting room and everybody's in that film room and you're sitting down and you're introducing yourself as the head coach and you're breaking down and going over that game plan, just kind of what is the first message that you would give to that team as the head coach, where it's, listen, hey, I understand you guys were a 4-win team last year, but we're here to change that. Is it that simple, or does it need to be kind of more, listen, this is what we're going to do here?
Well, I think the first thing you tell them is real simple. I got to earn your trust, man. I became the head coach of the Jets.
No.
First thing I told those guys, first time being a head coach,
right?
I said, guys, I got to earn your trust.
Okay.
And I told them this. I say that as a former player, not as a coach.
Right.
I was you. I sat in these seats. I was you, guys. So he said, and so when you tell them that, they go, okay, I'm listening, coach. Because the players want to know, like I say, they respect your title.
Absolutely.
You got to earn their trust, man.
Right.
And that's every day. They want to see a consistent guy. And whatever your motive is, how you motivate players, just be consistent. Players want consistency.
Right.
And they want to know when something goes bad. I always tell coaches, the greatest thing about football is this. Once it starts, once they kick the ball in there, and the play happens, and basically the offense or the defense comes off the field, those guys want answers.
Yeah.
You better be able to fix it. They want to know, can the coach fix it? This was the plan, but now we might have to change. Can the coach fix that? What do we do to fix it? That's all the players want. Because these players want to be successful. They want to win games. I mean, so they'll be eager. He's got their attention. He'll have their attention all through the offseason. Everything's fine. They're lifting weights. They're running. They're putting in the offense. Everyone's excited.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, they're going to kick the ball off. They're going to kick the ball off, and it's going to be real.
Yeah.
And then they want to know, how's the coach going to act, and how's the staff going to act when we kick the ball off? Not only does he have to coach the players, more important, he got to coach his coaches. He has to coach his coaches.
That's true, too.
Okay? I mean, because what he says when he addresses the team and the guys break up in the individual meetings, them coaches have to have the same mantra. They can't be on different pages.
Right.
The Jaguars don't play the Jaguars.
Right. Right.
They got to all be on the same page.
All got to be on the same page. Absolutely.
So you got to coach the coaches as much as you got to coach the players.
Yes. Hopefully.
Right? Because you can't be in every room. See, when you break the team meeting and you're the offensive guy or defensive guy, you can go, I would suggest this is what I did. I made sure the first room I was in the room with the quarterback.
Okay.
I'm a defensive guy. I was in the room with the quarterback.
Right.
I was in the offensive rooms more than I was in the defensive rooms. Because I knew what the defense was supposed to do. I'm in the offensive rooms. And I wanted the players to see my face. Don't get caught on one side of the ball. First meeting I used to go to special teams. I sat in there with special teams. Everybody plays special teams. The players see the head coach sitting in there going, oh, head coach is in here. Yeah. And I would go to individual meetings. You got to go everywhere. The players need to see your face. They need to know you're involved with the football team.
And hopefully they are able to gain that trust that Herm Edwards is talking about. Liam Coen is going to start with him gaining the trust of the players. They're a 4-win team from this past season. Liam Coen, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jacksonville Jaguars looking to change that. Mr. Edwards, thank you so much once again for coming on the program, and hopefully we're able to do this again down the road.
I hope so as well. Sorry I was late, my friend. Thank you.
Absolutely. Herm Edwards, NFL head coach, former player, college head coach, an all-around good guy. We've ran over the runway. This is 1010XL at 92.5 FM.
Hunters Know Patience is part of the game.
Just got to keep hunting.
Jeff Lageman, Captain Kevin Faber, and Captain Kirk Waltz on the Nimnet Outdoors Show. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coen Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coen Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coen Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coen Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coen Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
1010XL's draft previews are brought to you by Big Brothers Big Sisters of Northeast Florida. Be a Big.
Travis Hunter is an exciting two-way player whose world-class athleticism and ball skills help him shine on both sides of the field. Hunter is an instinctive, natural football player with a feel for making the biggest plays at the biggest time. Jacksonville would need to make a decision on where and how to play Hunter if they drafted him with the 5th pick, but he's capable of making a good number of winning plays as a future star, no matter the choice.
Living life on the edge of your seat.
Are you kidding me?
Your front row seat for play-by-play.
Break it free, they're not going to catch you.
1010XL.
Trying to figure pricing at most AC companies is like listening to an auctioneer.
Who wants an AC tune-up? Do I hear $3.99? How about $2.99? No, let's drop it. $79? Do we have a deal? Going once, going twice? Sold!
Not at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. We make it easy. We're offering a free AC inspection. No gimmicks, no fine print, just a completely free checkup from our highly trained techs to make sure your AC is ready for summer. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, because free is better than bidding. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
And just like that, the Atlanta Hawks have taken a 6-point lead. 5 minutes left to go in the fourth. Timeout, Miami. The NBA, where amazing happens. TNT, we know drama. We know a bit of drama here at 1010XL as well. Now, speaking of the NBA and staying on it for just a moment, because this is kind of bothering me here. The conversation in which Rich Paul had on the Pat McAfee show, saying that the Miami Heat Big Three wasn't a Big Three. And I don't know, Kurt Heelan brought it up on Wednesday. Is this trying to say that the Big Three wasn't a Big Three, saying LeBron did less or did more with less than what Jordan ever could do? But the bigger problem in which I have is it seems like the old school and the new school era, it just seems that they're at odds, and I can't figure out why. You have a guy like Kevin Garnett. He's an old school guy at the core of him. He loves the game of yesteryear. But it seems to me that he is trying to relate and he's trying to appreciate the stars of today. Now, he will call guys out, like an Anthony Edwards, who he was trying to trash the older era by saying there were only 2 or 3 guys that were athletic. But he does see the new era, Kevin Garnett does, and appreciates them for the style of play in which they have today. Although he has said that he does not feel that a lot of these guys 20 years ago would have been able to handle themselves in an NBA locker room because the feeling was different. But the old school going against the new school going against the old, is this just a protection of your era? Is this jealousy? Or is it simply, we just don't like you? That's the question in which I'm having. Because for me, listen, as much as I love arguing eras, I think the past era, just aesthetically for me, was better than this era, both in play style and just overall presentation. Now, that may be coming from nostalgia, but I remember basketball, at least for me, being something deeper than what it is today. But it's not like I can't acknowledge today's era. The past era made me feel something. Each and every time, each dribble of the basketball, running up and down the court, I felt the passion. But I feel things in this era too. I can appreciate this era as well. Back then, the game was chopped up. It was more physical. That's what we love. You had the bad boy Pistons. They're knocking Jordan on his ass. And either the ref would call the foul, go to the free throw line, which today would probably be flagrant 2s, or the ref would say, listen, man, get back on defense and play. These are the rules in which we play with. And maybe it's the older guard saying, we weren't able to get away with in our era what you guys are able to get away with now. But don't other leagues have that issue as well? Football isn't the gladiator sport that it once was. If you remember the joke that Patrice O'Neal said in his famous stand-up comedy special, Elephant in the Room, if a guy got hit on the football field and he didn't get up, we didn't hold hands with the other team and pray. Now, if you tackle the wrong way, by today's standards, it could be legal, but it was legal 10, 15 years ago. Today, it's 15 yards in the first down. But I don't hear the old guard, at least to me, when it comes to the media shows and NFL Network and whoever the former player now turned talking head, I don't hear them trashing today's superstar in the NFL. I don't hear the MLB guys trashing today's game or today's player openly. Nor do I see the new era from the NFL or the MLB doing that to those guys. And maybe that's where Jason McIntyre had a point on our air a few weeks ago. That Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal and TNT, you're trashing the NBA because it's not your era. Or you genuinely just believe that the game is bad, and they're entitled to that opinion. They don't affect me wanting to watch the NBA. I made that clear. They don't affect me. But are they affecting the individual that says, I want to watch more NBA? And your first instance is seeing Shaq and Charles Barkley saying, meh, the game's not as good as it once was. You'll not necessarily be wasting your time, but that excitement that you had when we played, no longer there. And I think that can turn a couple people off who aren't diehard fans. But the Dodgers created a super duper team in the MLB. I don't hear the older guard saying, see, that's what's ruining our game today. Warren Sapp, he did say, football back in our day was a man's game. But he can also appreciate a guy like Aaron Donald and say he's one of the greatest of all time. And when he gets into the Hall of Fame, he belongs in a room with me and the other great defensive backs in NFL history. Hell, Sapp is now coaching the next generation at Colorado. I get that today's generation is different. Let me be clear. Real different. But I'm trying to figure out what the past era in the NBA is looking for. Are you looking for the new generation to pay homage? If not for you, we wouldn't be getting paid these contracts. We wouldn't be going across the world. We wouldn't have the sneaker deals in which we had. If that's what you're looking for, just say that. Because David Stern or Adam Silver, they didn't like the physicalness of yesteryear's game. They had to change the rules a little bit. They wanted more threes. They wanted a faster paced game than what we had in the 80s and the 90s and even in the early 2000s. Right? But this is now starting to feel personal to me between the old school and the new school, at least in the NBA. And that saddens me because the NBA is my sport. That's the league I grew up on. Before coming to Jacksonville and now fought at the NFL, before even, heck, me having a vacation in Houston and understanding the MLB a bit better, the NBA is what I sleep, eat, and breathe. I just don't like the fact that you got guys like Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal just going back and forth with one another. Let's just respect the game. It's a new lens. In the words of Kevin Garnett, LeBron James is 40. And he banged on it. Dylan, take me to break before I get in trouble.
You love sports. You live for the action.
He did it again!
Experience the excitement of the moment on 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Spring and summer are coming. Will your pool deck be ready? Don't Slip Deck Coatings of Jacksonville has you covered. Their multi-layered slip-resistant coatings come in a variety of colors, adding safety, durability, and style to your outdoor spaces. Plus, they offer slip-resistant solutions for inside your home, too. Long-lasting, affordable, and built to protect your family. Don't wait. Call today for a free quote. 904-466-1839. And follow Don't Slip Jacks on Facebook and Instagram.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Draft season is here, and so is Mia's Mock Draft Mondays. And this year, we're powered by One Night Taco Stand. Each week, I'll unveil a new set of possible targets for the big cats on the 1010XL social channels and 1010XL.com. Let's taco about it on 1010XL.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080.
Leon Cersei here. Let's be real. I used to eat like a lineman because I was one. And man, those habits are hard to break. I needed help to stop with the munchies and lose weight. But now, I'm bringing sexy back. I call Physician Guided Weight Loss. Their medical team is helping me shed pounds safely with a custom plan to help me slim down. And their firm pricing means same price every month. Hey, you want to bring sexy back? Visit Physician Guided Weight Loss at pgweightloss.com. ET here, and if you've ever been injured in an accident, visit my buddy Dr. McGowan at McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation Center. You have 14 days to see a doctor and protect your insurance benefits, even if you're at fault. And no matter what you hear, you have the right to choose your own doctor. So I recommend McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation. Their auto experts will guide you in every step of the way to ensure the care that you need. Your recovery starts with McGowan Spinal Rehabilitation.
It's game time for your business, and Advanced Business Solutions has the winning play. With Xerox copiers, you'll never miss a deadline. Fast, reliable, and built for high performance, Xerox copiers keep your team ahead of the competition. From printing to scanning, Xerox brings the MVPs of efficiency to your office. Ready to make the winning move? Hire the champions at Advanced Business Solutions. Veteran owned.
Printers, copiers, and IT management. Advanced Business Solutions.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This game is turning out to be an all-timer. Miami had the lead. Atlanta comes back, takes a 6-point lead with 5 left to go. Miami now up by 2. Atlanta has one more chance at it. 5 seconds left. They fouled Trae Young, so the Atlanta Hawks going to have to take it out on the side. And you know what? Let's bring in our next guest, who he belongs in a front office in the NBA because his expertise of the game is something to behold. He is Keith Smith. He's an NBA analyst, contributor to Spot Track and the Front Office Show with Trevor Lane. Both do a great job there. And he's so gracious to give us a couple moments of his time. Keith, are you in front of the TV watching what is going to be an exciting finish between the Hawks and the Heat?
Yeah, absolutely. So I apologize if I'm a little distracted here as we start our conversation. There's only about 6 seconds left to play, so it'll be going to be an exciting finish.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, it's kind of par for the course, isn't it? I mean, the season as a whole has had a lot of drama. You've had coaches being fired with a week left in the season. You've had stars being traded for one another in the middle of the night. In a word or a phrase, how would you describe the regular season we had in the NBA?
Incredible. I think this has been one of the best regular seasons we've had in a long time. You had the Thunder and Cavs really kind of going crazy in their respective conferences and winning a ton of games. The Celtics putting together a really nice title defense with another 60-win season. You had the Pistons come out of nowhere. And like you said, just, big trades, major moves that were happening, great finishes all season long. There's been, almost every night there were, 1, 2, 3 really, really good games. And,
right.
and it's been really something to watch. So it's, kind of fun that this is where we're at. with everything going on here. And Trae Young just tied it with 1.3 seconds left.
Wow. Trae Young coming up clutch. Ice Trae doing it once again here in the play-in tournament. The winner will get the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round. Now, when there are teams in which I've talked about disappointing me this season, I look at teams such as the Philadelphia 76ers. I also think about teams such as the Phoenix Suns. But was there a team for you that disappointed you this season that you thought was going to have a better year than they did?
Yeah, it's Phoenix. I didn't think they were going to be great, but I certainly didn't think that they would be an absolutely awful team. And the Sixers, you can at least give them the excuse of they were never healthy. They didn't have Embiid to start the season. I don't remember what the number of games was and number of minutes were for Embiid, Paul George, and Tyrese Maxey playing together, but they were extremely limited. So we're at a point where, all right, we kind of get why it maybe happened with Philly, even if, some, myself included, were like, are we sure putting together a team based around a bunch of injury-prone guys is the best way? But, then when we get to Phoenix, there's no excuse for them to be, this bad. It's a team that has talent. They just don't fit together, and they kind of let it run, and now they're going to have to try to find a way out of this. It's a real mess out there in Phoenix.
Absolutely. He is one half of the front office show with Trevor Lane. He is Keith Smith, NBA analyst, joining us here on 1010 XL. So we are awaiting the finish of this Miami and Atlanta game. We're also going to have Memphis and Dallas going against one another to earn the honor of facing the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round of the NBA playoffs. But with the series that we already have cemented and that we know are going to be first round matchups, is there one that you're keeping your eye on?
Yeah, Denver and the Clippers. I'm really excited for that one. And Andrew Wiggins misses at the buzzer, and we're headed to overtime.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's going to be fun here in the East playing game. But, yeah, to go back to your question, Denver and the Clippers, should be a really fun matchup. These are two teams that are both, they're trying to get to, title contention again for the Nuggets. The Clippers have never quite gotten there. They're teams that they kind of give each other different kinds of problems. Jokic is there. Kawhi Leonard is there right now, healthy and playing well. James Harden's playing terrific basketball. Jamal Murray got back, so I'm really excited for that series.
Absolutely. Now, I watched the animated series Hero Ball. I believe that's with Bleacher Report. They do a great job on that. And what they focused on this particular episode is who's going to be the dark horse in this year's playoffs. Keith, for you, who do you have as your dark horse in the NBA playoffs?
That's a good question. I kind of think the teams we expect to be there in the end are going to be there in the end. And I know some people are trying to claim that it's the Warriors because they're a 7th seed.
Right.
But they're the Warriors, right? They have
Yes.
Stephen Curry. They have Jimmy Butler. More people are picking them to beat the Rockets than not in the first round. So I don't know that that's a real dark horse. I'll say a team that I think could surprise and maybe make a run that we're not talking enough about is the Indiana Pacers. I think that there's a chance that they're ready to make another run like they did a year ago.
Okay.
Now the Bucks, it seems like they're going to get Damian Lillard back sometime in this series. I kind of think it'll probably be Game 3 when the series shifts to Milwaukee, but that's what it sounds like. Is he's going to be back in there, and that's going to be huge for them. But that Pacers team, they've got good experience from last year. They've got a team that can really score some points. Question is going to be, can they defend enough? Is that going to be enough for them to pull it off? But, yeah, they're a team I've got my eye on.
You can follow him on Twitter at Keith Smith, NBA analyst. He contributes for places such as Spot Track and the Front Office Show. The Orlando Magic, we are big fans here of that team in Jacksonville. They're preparing for their first round matchup against the defending champion Boston Celtics. How do you think the Orlando Magic fare in this series?
I think it's going to be a short stay for the Magic. This is the worst possible matchup that they could have gotten in the Eastern Conference. The Celtics are a scoring machine. In the way they do the scoring is really tough on Orlando. Boston's going to shoot a ton of three-pointers. Orlando's done a good job limiting teams from taking three-pointers, but nobody's been able to keep the Celtics from shooting 40 to 50 three-pointers just about every game. Over half of their shots came from behind the arc this year. And the way they get them is through ball movement. I like to say they put you in the blender, and they get you kind of cycling around, and you're trying to chase, and it's constant, hedge, recover. And when you're trying to make that third and fourth rotation and third and fourth closeout, you're in trouble. So I think the Celtics are going to be in a really good position here for Orlando. I just don't see how they're going to score enough to keep up with Boston, and that's going to be the problem for the Magic.
Now, another series in the Eastern Conference that, really intrigues me is this of Detroit and the New York Knicks. The New York Knicks are the 3 seed, but it doesn't feel like they have the oomph of a 3 seed. And here you have the Detroit Pistons, who have had a huge turnaround from being a 14-win team last year to now here we are, the 6th seed in the NBA playoffs. Does inexperience ultimately hurt the Pistons versus a team like the Knicks, or do the Knicks have a real legitimate shot at making this a series and potentially winning it?
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Now, the Pistons do have a couple guys who've been in the playoffs, and that's going to be huge. Guys like Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, they're going to have to really help the rest of that team along. Dennis Schroeder's another guy who's been on playoff runs, because a lot of those guys just haven't been there before. So that's going to be something that we'll obviously be keeping an eye on. But I think what's really interesting in that matchup is, can the Pistons find enough ways to score, and who's going to step up to help Cade Cunningham? When you think of a Tom Thibodeau Knicks team, you don't normally think about them being a really great offensive team, but that's exactly what they are.
Right.
They are an outstanding offense. They are not a very good defense, but I think in this particular matchup where they can really design a game plan, they've got different guys they can throw at Cade Cunningham to kind of try to keep him a little off balance. I think you'll see all of the starters out of Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart all take turns on him. I think Deuce McBride will guard him some off the bench, probably Campaign as well. And that's going to be something that they're going to have to really work to try to free up Cade Cunningham. That's going to be fun. What other subplot is? This series is going to be extremely physical. The Pistons are not just happy to be here. One of my favorite go-to stats that I've used, the Pistons have not won a single playoff game, not a series, but a single game since 2008.
Ooh.
So it's been 17 years since they've won a single playoff game. They're going to snap that. They're going to get a win or two in this series.
Right.
In this series, like I said, extremely physical. I think there's a chance, we could see a couple of ejections in this one.
Yeah.
Guys are really going to go at it. It's going to be a fun one to watch.
NBA analyst Keith Smith joining us here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Add him on Twitter at Keith Smith NBA. It wouldn't be an interview with me unless I had talked about my Los Angeles Lakers. I'm sure you hear about them enough with Trevor Lane, but you're also talking to a fellow Lakers fan here. Just how do you think the Lakers are going to do overall in the playoffs, and particularly in this series against the Minnesota Timberwolves?
Yeah, I picked them to go to the conference finals, so obviously I think they're going to beat the Wolves, but it's going to be a challenge. They're going to have to work to get that win against Minnesota. The Wolves have some really good things that they can go to try to hurt the Lakers, which is a lot of using their size and trying to make things difficult. If Los Angeles can't rebound and can't kind of protect the rim, they're going to have trouble. They don't have a great guy to put on Anthony Edwards. That's going to be a problem for them at times. So I think that's going to be something that we'll watch and see. But in the end, it's LeBron, it's Luka. I think they're going to solve any of the things that get thrown at them, and that they're going to really be out there ready to make a run. I think, and then in the second round, we'll see. A lot of people are picking the Warriors, myself included, to upset the Rockets, who have never been there before, and that'll be a really fun series. I think the Lakers can get through the Warriors because their lack of size doesn't really matter as much in that series. And then the Thunder, that's just a terrible matchup for them. They will have major challenges with Oklahoma City, but if you make it that far, at that point you kind of say, all right, well, we made it this far. Let's kind of see where we can go.
Absolutely. Final one before we let you go. Is this Boston's championship to lose yet again this season, or is there going to be a team, whether that's in the West, if they so go to the NBA Finals, or is it a team out East that can, slow down the Boston Celtics and they'll run yet another NBA championship?
Yeah, I think the Celtics should feel really good about their chances at winning another title, and I think that's my pick. That was my pick in the preseason that they would repeat, and I think that they've got a really good chance of doing that. But Cleveland's going to be a challenge for them. I do think they're definitely going to get to the East Finals, and we're going to get that matchup. They've got to find a way to slow down Donovan Mitchell, who they've had a lot of trouble with this year. That's going to be a challenge for them. And then in the finals, if they get that far, I'm picking them to play Oklahoma City. That's another team that can really do some different things and make things a little bit difficult. So I think, the Celtics, so they're ready for it. They did it last year. They now know what it takes. I think, they're going to, really do a good job of defending this title and trying to get another one.
All right, Keith, before we let you go, let the listeners know how they can follow you and the great work that you're doing on the Front Office Show and Spot Track.
Yeah, you can find my written work at spottrack.com right now. Over there, it's all about the off season. We're getting ready for the summertime and for free agency and all that. We've got our team-by-team off season previews rolling out. We've got the first three up, the Jazz, the Pelicans, and the Wizards. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can find that there. And then you can find me, as you mentioned, with Trevor Lane, NBA Front Office Show, Monday through Friday on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts.
He is Keith Smith, NBA analyst, contributor to places such as Spot Track and the Front Office Show. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at Keith Smith NBA for all of his playoff analysis throughout this tournament. Keith, thank you again, and enjoy the finish of this Heat Hawks play-in tournament, and also the game that we'll have later on tonight, the nightcap between Memphis and the Dallas Mavericks. Thanks again, Keith.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
There he goes, Keith Smith, NBA Front Office Show and Spot Track. He belongs in a front office. A minute 13 to go. Miami up 6. This is going to be one for the ages. And when we come back, one more NBA topic I want to get to. Adam Silver talking about expansion in the NBA. Places like Las Vegas and Seattle being amongst the two cities that could be teams and having a team place there. But I want to know from you here in Jacksonville, would you love to have a team here in the city? Let's discuss next on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
I'm Hacker, and I'll get you more Gator Chomps during the Gator Bites podcast presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. New episodes drop every Friday. Get Gator Bites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com.
When you think of America, you think baseball, cookouts, military, and pride for our country. At Garber Auto Mall, we're proud to carry every American-made truck at one location. Ford, Chevy, GMC, Ram, and Jeep. With the largest inventory selection in North Florida, you can shop with one salesperson. Garber Auto Mall is proud to support our country, our military, and our community. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. Garber Auto Mall. Proud to be American.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or MattDadJacksonville.com.
1010XL is multimedia. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
You can't buy this kind of media exposure.
1010XL, maximum media exposure.
Plumbing problem? AC not blowing cool? Septic tank backing up? No need to call 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. At Duck Duck Rooter, we do it all. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning with expert technicians in each department. One company, one call, one easy bill. No hassle, no runaround, just fast professional service from highly skilled techs who know their stuff. Need help? Call 904-862-6769 today and let Duck Duck Rooter handle it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low 5s, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
At Cannons of Jacksonville, they know that when you're towing anything, you gotta have products you can rely on. With over 50 years of fabrication expertise, the family at Cannons can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Whether it's a heavy-duty hitch, trailer frame, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons will provide you with unmatched precision and durability. For all your towing needs, visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about the fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and there's so many cool products that are on the line at Cycles of Jacksonville. Showrooms at Atlantic and Regency, and we're talking, Greg, you've got from any level of price point, the experienced rider to the inexperienced on-road, off-road.
We've got it. We've got ATVs, we've got motorcycles, we've got scooters, we even have the new Honda boats. We've got something for everyone.
Don't forget about the boat line from Honda. It's all right there, waiting for you. Atlantic and Regency or Cycles of Jacksonville's Facebook page.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
One big takeaway for me, I do believe we are going to be split down the middle when it comes to who is under more pressure. For me, I believe it's Liam Coen, just because you're inheriting a quarterback that we've heard Dylan Denmark say, as well as Herm Edwards, who we had on earlier in the show, say, listen, this is a guy we don't know who he is yet. And he is now on his third coach, and he has stayed when the others have gotten fired. It's now time for him to produce. Now, on the other side of that, I just do believe a guy like Liam Coen, you're asking him to fix it. Him, Grant Udinski, that offensive staff, you are saying get him in the position to where he can be successful. And whether that's working on his footwork or just being able to make the right reads, create the right reads. Who are we getting in the NFL draft? You brought in a couple of receivers, brought in a receiver in free agency. And they also trust Parker Washington. They feel Brenton Strange is going to be more of a factor in both the run game and the pass game. Although they didn't name Gabe Davis, he's going to be on the team this season. So is Gabe Davis now going to be a guy that's going to be looked at as a big factor on the outside, along with Brian Thomas Jr.? Are you bringing somebody in the draft? And what do the Jaguars do at 5? Are they going to bring in a defensive guy? Is it Mason Graham or is it Ashton Genty that's the pick? Is it Ted McMillan that's the pick? And they say, listen, we need to put all the offensive weapons in front of Trevor available. Because I just don't think Trevor's at the point yet where you're saying he can do more with less. Certainly going to be interesting to see. But as Herm Edwards said, the team's excited right now. There's no dog in the fight yet. The football hasn't gone up. The first snap has not been taken. Certainly is going to be an interesting turn of events when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars this season, Liam Coen, as well as Trevor Lawrence. It has gone final in Atlanta. The Miami Heat going to be facing the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round, 123-114, your final. Davion Mitchell having himself in overtime, getting the Heat over the hump. They are now going to have the first round matchup. They're going to travel to Cleveland to face the Cavs. I believe that's going to be on Sunday. So exciting news from Commissioner Adam Silver saying that there is expansion talks and there's nothing set in stone quite yet. However, places like Las Vegas, places like Seattle are in talks of being cities that are going to have an expansion team. I understand that a lot of individuals want the Supersonics back. I believe Gary Payton said, until we have a team back in Seattle, I will not have my jersey retired by the Oklahoma City Thunder. I want it retired in Seattle with the Sonics. But I did want to know from you guys, would you like to have a team? If they said, listen, we would like to bring an expansion basketball team, an NBA team here to Jacksonville, would you like that? Would you be down with it? I want to have some fun here. I need a name. I need a name for this team. I've been looking it up. I've been trying to see what we could do. I mean, I don't want something lame like Jacksonville Bulldogs. What? No. Oh, I mean, we can't call ourselves like the Jacksonville Seven Bridges. That just doesn't work for me. I was trying to think of something, I guess, more towards the military. I mean, like, how about like the Jacksonville Guards or something like that?
Back in the day, the USFL, you had the Jacksonville Bandits, I believe.
Jacksonville Bandits. Let's take that. I won't do, although I do like the name. I really do like the name. Maybe go out to a game one of these days. I mean, the Jacksonville 95ers. I mean, that's a pretty good name. Shout out to those guys in the TBL. Maybe the NBA buys that name off you if there was an NBA team here in Jacksonville.
My bad. It was the Jacksonville Bulls. It was the Tampa Bay Bandits.
The Bulls. I'm seeing an ABA shirt right here in studio, the Jacksonville Jam. Maybe we could do that and have, I mean, do they want to say that's black, teal, and red in the studio? The Jacksonville Jam. Who would be our first overall pick? The 678, the Jacks Duvallers. I like that name. Now I also wonder who would be our first pick. If everyone was everyone, and everybody's on the line, you could choose whomever. I mean, do we start out with the guard? It is a guard's game. I mean, get somebody like, I don't know, LaMelo Ball, a Trey Young.
Bronny.
Get Bronny James for the vibes. Or maybe, I mean, you know, still a guy like Paolo Banchero. I think basketball could work here. Now, the The only time I've seen an NBA game here, I think the New Orleans Pelicans came to town and they faced the Hawks. That's the only time I've seen an NBA game here in Jax. And the place was full. Got an autograph from Chris Douglas Roberts. That was great. I would love to see the Orlando Magic play a couple of preseason games here. That would be cool. We could have Liam Coen announce the first pick. He could say Duval again. I don't want him to say it the right way. I want him to say it the way in which he says it. That's what I want.
Duval.
Yes. Yes. With the first pick, Walter Clayton Jr. Yes. And say it after you announce his name. So, okay, here we go, Dylan. With the first pick of the 2025 NBA draft, the Jacksonville Jam select Walter Clayton Jr.
Duval.
And he has to say it like that. Let's get it started. The 571, Jacksonville needs more basketball passion first. Got to sell out our college team games first. Our minor league games have had some great games. They sure have. They sure have. Man, we do need to also show some love to the college basketball games. I went to my first JU basketball game. They were fighting their way and making the playoffs. I loved it. Love going out with my guys, Andy and Chris. Shout out to you guys. Andy showing me and Chris a great time. We play basketball together on Thursdays.
By the Jacksonville Shipmen.
Jacksonville Shipmen. Every time I think Shipmen, I'm thinking Navy.
Yeah.
Navy midshipmen. I think it could work here in Jax. I think it could work. I think it could. Now, Hacker has already said if there was a team here in Jacksonville, he would not pledge his allegiance to anybody but the Orlando Magic. I would say I feel the same way. I'm a Lakers fan. But, I mean, come on. Come on. Come on. I want it. I want it. We need a mascot. We definitely need a mascot, too. So if it's like the Jacksonville Jam, we need I don't know. We can't do an osprey. We can't do a dolphin. I'm saying this to one in particular person. They'll understand this when I say this. We're not doing a manta ray. It's the Blue Waves are crying out loud. We need a mascot. We need, you know what we also need? We need our own little food item. What the Sharks got? The Frisbee dog, the jumbo shrimp have what? The crazy nachos or the crazy hot dog. You never know what you're gonna get in the hot dog. The Jam would need something like a pizza or something, like a chili cheese pizza. I don't know. That's just my thought process. Just having a little bit of fun on a Friday. I have to thank Dylan Denmark. Thank you for being a part of this week with me, Dylan. I really appreciate it, man. I wouldn't have wanted to have anybody else except for my guy. I understand you could have been a million other places. You elected to hang out with me, Dylan. Thank you so much for hanging out with me the last 3 days, man.
No problem, man. It was a good show tonight.
Absolutely. And thank you to the text line and to everyone who listened from Wednesday until Friday on a Good Friday. Rick will be back next week. Hacker After Dark now moves back to 8 to 10. For Dylan Denmark, I am RJ Saunders. Thank you for allowing Open Gym to be a part of your week for the next 3 days. We will talk to you again on next Sunday, where we'll be breaking down